Right, well, first of all, I want to thank Ross for the opportunity he gave me to come here and try to explain a little bit how we do the things in Spain regarding goalkeeping training. So yeah, as you say, you know, we're kind of now in the lead of goalkeeping training at the moment. You know, we're keeping delivering top class goalkeepers. You know, as I say, Casillas, Valdez, Reina, De Gea, etc., etc. And there must be a reason why this is happening. You know, the same Holland was in the 80s. You know, Germany was in the 90s. And now it's our turn. You know, so it goes with cycles. Now it's our turn. So I'm going to try to explain not so much about, you know, exercises and drills like that, because I could be here for two more days. And I'm going to try to explain how we organize the things, you know, what things we take into account, and how we prepare how we plan the sessions, the seasons, etc., etc. Yeah. So first of all, I want you to see one video. There's going to be two videos that more or less put the things really clear, the philosophy that we had when we prepared the trainings. Okay. Well, also I would like to thank all these people. When they told me to do this speech, I had one in Sweden about 10 days ago, and it was about how we do the things in Spain. Okay. So I didn't want to do it as a personal point of view, you know, how Inaki does keeper training. You know, I wanted to put things together and how we do the things in Spain. You know, so I contacted a series of goalkeeper coaches. As you can see, some of the names you might recognize. You know, like Sambade and maybe Gilchrist, etc. And some of them are not so known for the foreign people, but I'm sure these guys recognize most of the names. So I was contacting them, you know, asking their opinion. You know, what do you think is the basis, you know, of the Spanish way? You know, what things you think are the difference between how we work in Spain and how you work in England, in Scotland, in other parts of Europe. Okay. So let's go with the first video. What you can get, or what I want you to get from this video, is that there are a lot of things that happen on a game, and if you want your keeper to be ready to react or to respond to those situations, you really need to work on those. You know, there are tons of things that I know by fact that, for example, in Holland or in here in the UK, we don't get work, you know, and yet we expect the goalkeeper to solve them, you know, or to react in the right way when we're not training it. So we need to try and everything that can happen on a game, we need to work on it, okay, and train for it. So, as you say, it's a Spanish methodology, the theme of the speak. But I don't think there's such a thing as a Spanish methodology, okay? There are some certain guidelines that we all kind of follow, but every goalkeeper coach has his own way of doing the things. We follow a certain style, but everybody, you know, has his own. As we say in Spain, cada maestrillo tiene su librillo. You know? So it means that every teacher, you know, has his own book and his own way of doing things. So I'm going to try to explain what things we take into account when we prepare the goalkeepers in Spain. Okay? And the first one is a goalkeeper. Depending the type of goalkeeper that you have, you're going to have to work in a certain way. There were some things, some other things you're not going to have to pay so much attention. Okay? And also, how will I explain that? Well, I'll carry on with the next one because it kind of joins together with what I want to say. But yeah, the type of goalkeeper that you have is the first thing you're going to have to think about when you prepare the sessions and when you plan the season. Okay. The next one is a team where you play. Okay. Your coach is going to tell you, okay, we're going to play 4-4-2. We're going to, you know, we're going to try to have the possession. We're going to play in counter attack. We're going to let the possession the other team. You know, our defense is going to be forward. It's going to play on the back. Depending the type of game that your team plays, you're going to have to adequate that goalkeeper to that style of play. You know, an easy example: if you see how Barcelona plays, you know, and how Valdez plays. If you try to put Casillas to play for Barcelona, I'm sure it will be a disaster. And yeah, Casillas is like, if not the best goalkeeper in the world, he's one of the best. Okay. But yeah, it needs to suit the type of play that your team is doing. Okay. So we take into account the kind of goalkeepers that we have. You know, if it's the typical tall guy, it's a bit slower. If it's a quick one, you know, shorter one, etc., etc. The type of style of play that we have in our team. And then the next one, and very important, is the opponent. Who you're facing in your next game. Okay, we don't really plan so much ahead, especially at top level. You know, you focus on what you're going to be facing in the next game. Okay, if you know the team you're going to be facing, the main way of attacking is by, you know, playing to the sides and doing crosses. You're going to want to insist on this type of balls. You know, so your keeper is ready to what he's going to be facing in the week. So yeah, you put these three things together, and that's what we can call the Spanish methodology. Then we have, in the Spanish way of working, we have different type of training methods. We have three. Okay. The first one is analytic. It's probably the method that everybody is more familiar with. You look basically to work on the technical aspects of the goalkeeping and also on the fitness. You know, there's no decision involved, no decision making. You don't have, we say traffic. You know, you don't have opponents. You don't have team players, and everything is really basically working on the technique or in the fitness. Okay, the keeper knows what's going to happen. Probably as we were talking yesterday with Simon, is what Goalkeeping likes. You know, he knows to know what's going to happen and how is it going to happen. So in the analytic, the goalkeeper knows exactly where the ball is going to go and what you're going to be doing. Okay, but you're going to be working on that special aspect. Okay, it's really good also because you can pinpoint exactly what you want to work on. Okay, you might have a goalkeeper that his positioning is really good. You know, the way he dives is perfect, but the way he moves from being ready to diving, you know, that step in between, it makes a mistake. You know? Like yesterday, for example, there was an exercise with I think it was with Simon, that the keeper had to go from first ball all the way to the second, you know, and the way he was moving, it was like side steps, you know. That's not the quickest way, so sometimes you need to get the guy to try to work the cross step, you know, and moving forward. So you can basically, with this type of exercise, you can just work on that aspect of the goalkeeping. So this is an example of what will be an analytic working process. We're going to work with the three methods we're going to see. We're going to see a drill to work exactly the same thing, but in three different ways. you can see, there's no decision making, you know. The ball comes from the hands, so the guy doesn't need to read the body of the guy. He's feeding the ball, how the flight of the ball is doing. He doesn't have anyone that's going to put any problems. All you work in here is in catching the ball in the top of your fly, and make sure that you jump with the right leg and you protect yourself with the outside. That's the whole thing that you're working in here. So yeah, this will be an example of the analytic. The next one is a mix. The other one is called global. Okay, we have analytic and global, and there was something in between, you know, that needed to be called, and we decided to call it mix. Okay, because it's halfway. It's not one way. It's not the other way. It's kind of in between. The situations get a bit closer to the real game. You know, you might start having all the players, you know, and there's a bit of decision making. There's no the real game itself, but it's getting there. Okay. And yeah, you can combine the technical gestures and a bit of decision making. Okay, now we're going to see another example, also working in crosses, pretty much the same type of drill, but you will see there are little difference that is what differentiates the analytic to the mixed method. The keeper has to be ready for the ball, how the ball is coming, how he needs to read the body of the feeder and the flight of the ball. And then if you notice, the guy at the back is showing them two different types of colors of the dress of the vest. Depending on the color he sees, he's going to catch the ball or he's going to punch it away. So we start getting a bit of decision making. You know, it's like if you're in a real game, you need the ball is coming from the side. The goalkeeper still is going to have to see what's happening, where the ball is going, you know. If the ball is going to land there, you need to know what's going to be coming from there. So you get the keeper to start, you know, looking to see what's around, and depending on what he sees, he's going to take a decision or another one, okay? Imagine you're playing against Atletico de Bilbao, okay? The ball is going to come, and you see Llorente there, you know. It's a tall guy, 6'4" or something. He puts you tons of problems on the air, so you know he's going to be fighting with you in the air. So you decide, well, if I go catch the ball, you might have some troubles, you know. When you clash, I might drop the ball or something. I decide to go punch it, you know. If you see there's nobody there or they far away, you can feel confident to go catch the ball. So with this type of exercise, you can start making them take the decision depending on what's happening. Okay. And then the next one is the global. Now we go into the real game. Okay, there might not be 11 against 11, but it's pure decision making. You know, the real game situations. You know, when you're doing small games, like 4 against 4, you know, with the rest of the teams. If you talk to your coach, you know, you might put some little conditionings, you know, in the way they play. You know, if you're going to be working, for example, in crosses, you can tell them, okay, well, to score a goal, the ball has to come from the outside. You know, you make 2 corridors on the outside, the ball goes there. And the ball, by force, if you want to score, the ball has to come like that, you know. So you get your keeper to work on that certain aspect in crosses. This is another example of what will be the global method. The same again for the crosses. See, he already has traffic in the area. You know, if you don't have team, the players from the club, you can use the other keepers, you know, the coach, etc. Okay, this is what I'm on. So he needs to decide what he's going to do. He's going to go for the ball, he's going to wait to see what they do with the ball. Once he catches the ball, he has to know the one way at the end of the pitch, you know, walking around. So he has to do the guy to play the ball. Once that, we will see some examples in the practice. In football, 90%, 80–90% of the situations is a continuation of the play. Okay? If the keeper gets hold of the ball, it does something. It starts to counter-attack. You know, from defense playing, you turn automatically into attack. like this, the guy catches the ball, he does something that probably is going to do in the real game, you know. If you jump, catch the ball, and then that's it, you know, it's not really realistic, okay? So you get to do things like that. Also, if the ball, you know, if the cross, as you could see in the video, the guy doesn't catch the ball, you know, the other guys don't strike, there's another one ready to shot to the goal, okay? To make sure that the keeper does something in the exercise. So this will be the type of global method, okay? So once we know the type of drills we do, how we divide it in Spain, we're gonna now see how we work in the technique, in the tactic, and the physical aspect, the fitness of the goalkeeper, and also the mental aspect, okay? As you will hearing from Eric yesterday, those four are the pillars of football and goalkeeping, and you have to work on all of them, okay? So what's technique? It's really basic. It's how to do it, okay? How to do goalkeeping, you know, how you catch the ball, how you move, how you dive, how you fall, how you jump, how you punch. All this is what's called technique, pure and simple, okay? In the technical training, now this is at least Sambade did, the keeper coach of Deportivo de La Coruña. And as you can see, we're going to see interventions, which is when the goalkeeper actually makes contact with the ball, and then movements, when the goalkeeper doesn't have any contact with the ball, but you still have to work on those kind of things, you know, how he moves, how he falls, how he gets up, etc. Okay? Again, attack and defense. The goalkeeper is defending, but he also is the first person that starts the attack of the team. So you need to prepare all these things, okay? What things we need to work out when we reset the play, okay? The ball has gone out, there's been a foul or something. Goal kicks, free kicks, we need to work on that. Continuation, when we throw, we need to know how to throw. High balls, low balls, mid balls, javelin as you call it, although we don't use it that much. Passing with the feet, you know, you need to know how to pass short passes, mid distance, long distance. Kicking, because passing is passing, kicking is like sending it there and see what happens. Okay? You need to know how to do volleys, drop kicks, half volleys, side volleys, okay? You need to have as many tools as you can, and then you will decide which one is the best one to use in that moment, okay? Driving, you know, sometimes you recover the ball by the end line and you want to take it all the way to the edge of the 16 meter box. And the dribbling, I don't like the keepers dribbling the guys, but sometimes, you know, it might happen that you need to get rid of some pressure, and you can also work on that. You know, at some point in your career, you're going to have to use it. So if you know how to do it, you're going to be successful in that. If you don't, you probably won't. And then defense, you know, how to catch, parry, deflection, clearing, once, all these things, all these little things, you have to work on, okay? And there are a lot, and most of them we just forget about when we train goalkeepers, okay? Just an example of technical training. So you can see that's the Spanish version of the crazy catch. This is Sevilla Atlético, the second team from Sevilla. You can see there's no decision making, nothing, it's just basically catching the ball at the high speed. Okay. Now a bit of difference, you know, but again, this one could be considered mixed type of exercise, but it's just pure technique will be working. And again, a high ball, if we get the ball, we need to do something with the ball. So as we're going to see in the practice, why not just roll the ball to your colleagues? So you get used to, once you get the ball, you need to do something, okay? You can break the line like Eddie said yesterday and pass the ball, but do something with it, okay? Yeah, be louder than music. Most of the plays in football, there's a continuation. So once we get hold of the ball, we need to get used to do something with it. Okay? Throw it, kick it all the way there, do something with the ball. Okay? It never happens that you catch the ball in the game and you just walk away with it, or you just drop it and then go out. Okay? So make it realistic. Then the movements, you know, before you make contact with the ball, you know, your basic position. In Spain, we like to open a bit more the hands. You kind of go more to the center. You know, there's some people in Holland that they like to be like this. All these kind of things you also need to work. You know, how you jump, how you turn, which we also going to see later, and the diving. All these kind of things. You know, you need to work on that. And after the ball contact, how do you land? How do you recover your position, which we're going to also see later. You know, all these things you need to work. Okay, if you don't know how to recover fast, if you have a double occasion, you know, the first one you might save, but the second one, by the time you're ready again, the ball is already, you know, and everybody's by the center. So all these things you need to work on. And this is an example. This is just pure movement. Okay, this is the second goalkeeper of Atletico Bilbao. Speed, position. This is really easy to do. You just get an old tire, you know. After the technique, the tactic. What's tactic? It's what to do, when to do it, why we do it. Okay? We need to make a decision what we're going to do, you know, and why are we going to do it. All these things we also need to work on. Okay? Again, we can divide in defensive actions. Okay? With continuous support when the ball is in play. Okay? By the way, you know, you move yourself, your positioning in the goal, you know, as I always say, you have to try to make it the goal as smaller as you can and as difficult for the striker to see a gap. Okay, so by your positioning, you might change the mind of the striker, and instead of shooting, he's going to try to pass just by the way you move, you know, and where you're standing and how you're standing. So these kind of things you also need to work. Okay, being in the bisexuals. Reduction of the angles, you know, covering the defensive line, you know. If the defense is out, you move forward, you know, you cover the possible passes, you know, just by the way you're standing there, you're changing the minds of the guy who's attacking, you know, you make him think, he's wasting time, and you get time to get him covered, all these kind of things, you know. The same by communicating, the way, you know, you see someone is coming there, it's quite an open option. You tell your defense, you know, okay, get the guy, he gets covered, you know, that attack option is gone, just by the way you communicate with your defense. All these things you also need to work. And in defense strategy, okay, how you organize the walls in the free kicks, all these kind of things you get both. You can read the list here, you know. Then an example of tactical training in defense. Okay. It's small-sided game. And the way they keep in position is really keeping the lead and also attacking. Segunda vez, offensive actions. Again, the goalkeeper is the first attacker of your team. Okay. So how you control the pace and the tempo of the game. You know, sometimes minute 85. You know, you get the ball, you're winning 1-0. Why are you gonna hurry and play? You know, you might get the ball back. You take it all the way back to the line. The guy is coming to put you pressure. You know, in minute 85, the guy makes a sprint of 20 meters. He's done. You know, then you catch the ball, you run to the other side. You know, you already wasted almost a minute. Okay. All these kind of things you also need to work on. The counter-attacks, you know, supports, communicating and positioning, etc. I'm not reading all of them because we're tight with the time. And an example of offensive work. Again, global. We have the ball, you know, get the keepers to look for options, you know, control the passes. You work on technique, but mainly it's tactic that you work on. See how the keeper is moving to give support to the player. You know, he's always giving an option of pass to the players, etc. The fitness, the tools to make it better, faster, harder, and stronger. Don't know if somebody remember this song. Okay. There are 4 fitness qualities that I think the goalkeeper, most of the people in Spain think that it should be one. Strength, resistance, speed, and flexibility. Okay? In the strength, well, you know, the goalkeeper has really explosive actions, you know, and he has to be ready to be the same in the minute 1 and in the minute 90, you know. In minute 90, you might do nothing during the whole game, and suddenly you have to fly all the way to the top corner, and you have to be ready at all times, okay? So the same with resistance, you know, aerobic resistance, a lactic, you know. Sometimes the lactic one is not there so much, you know, but you have to work on all those type of things, you know. The same with speed. Gestural speed is how you do something, you know, a gesture, a specific gesture, that kind of speed. We're gonna see how. Example in the video, the reaction speed, how you move, and the same with flexibility. Okay, you don't need to be a gymnast, you know, you don't need to do complete opening, but sometimes, you know, we do really weird movements, really fast, you know, and we need to be flexible. Sometimes the positions we put ourselves into to save the ball, you know, they need to, you know, we need to be flexible and fit to do these kind of things. If you're not ready and you do this thing once, you know, I'm sure you're going to be in bed for the next 2 days. So, I'm sure that this video a lot of people have seen on YouTube. It's from Zambada in Deportivo. This is pure speed of gesture, okay? Nothing else. Again, analytic. You're working just on speed. If you look for Zambada Deportivo on YouTube, this video is about 7-8 minutes, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Okay, the mind. The mind is, for me, pretty much the most important part of the goalkeeper. And again, it's something that we need to work on the mind of the goalkeeper. Okay. All these things affect the performance of the goalkeeper, the motivation. Okay, you need a goalkeeper that it's, you know, it wants to go into the pitch. It wants to, you know, to leave 0 on the score. You know, you need the keeper to be ready for that. And all these things, you know, sometimes they don't feel like playing. You need to work on these kind of things. So when the game time comes, he's motivated as ever. The stress, you also need to work on how you deal with the stress of the goalkeeper. Okay, it's something that you need to teach the goalkeeper that stress, you leave it aside. Okay, the game is the game. Whatever you have in your head, you need to know how to leave it aside. And there are certain type of exercises, psychological exercises that you can do to control these kind of things. Self-confidence, you know, the goalkeeper has to be, you know, he thinks to know and think that he can stop anything, you know. Nothing can beat him. All these things you also need to work on. And the level of activation, the same, you know, by the time you get to the game or before the training, you need to make sure that he has a routine, so by the time the referee blows the whistle, he's at the top of his performance. Attention and concentration. We have to be playing for 90 minutes. There are keepers that 75, 80 minutes of the game, they are like unbeatable. But then suddenly their head goes, you know, maybe he's thinking what he's going to do at night with the friends, you know, or he needs to buy something for the wife because her birthday is coming. You know, you need to also train the keeper to be concentrated and to pay attention to what he has to pay attention for the whole time of the game. Team cohesion. Okay, it's a team, and you need everybody to work as a team. And sometimes, you know, you see someone is like he stays away and stuff. You need to work also on these kind of things. So everything works like a machine all together. Aggressiveness or aggressiveness. Yeah. The goalkeeper needs to be aggressive in the right type of aggression. Okay. All this aggression you need to focus on goalkeeping, on play, not on fighting with the striker that just elbow you in the rib on a corner or because the referee took a wrong decision. These kind of things you also need to control. Okay, and this all together is what, you know, affects the performance of the goalkeeper. Then there are 4 key main factors. Okay, 4 things that I think that are the most important for the goalkeeper regarding the mind, which is the intellectual resources. You know, you need a goalkeeper that knows how to play. You know, he knows all the technique and the tactics of the team, but he knows how to use the right one at the right time. Okay, so for this you require, yes, to say, perceptive and visual speed and constant attention. Okay, you need to be aware of what's going on all the time and to be able to take the right decision at the right time and do the right thing. Emotional stability. Okay, the goalkeeper is somebody that plays in a position that, you know, if you make a mistake, it affects the result of the game much more than if the striker makes a mistake. You know, if he misses the goal, whereas you know, well done, almost next time. You know, if the goalkeeper does that, you know, he's crucified. So you need to work on that. You know, you need to be confident in your skills. You know, have high self-esteem, probably the highest of the whole team, and be stable. You know, like these type of things that happen in the game shouldn't really affect you. You know, you should stay always at the same level. An example, I don't know if you watched the game between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Victor Valdés, the first ball he gets with the foot, you know, controls the ball, pass it, send it into the no man's land, you know. Madrid takes the ball, scores. I think it was minute 1. The next pass, he go back. Again, he controlled and he passed, and he kept on controlling and passing. If you make such a mistake, I'm sure 99% of the goalkeepers, you get a pass back. If I control it, I just get rid of the ball, you know, start kicking it away. The guy kept on controlling and passing the ball short at the back, how he's supposed to do, even though he made a huge mistake that cost the goal to the team. So this kind of stability is the one you really need to work on, because, as I say, you know, yeah, we're gonna get a goal score, but we need to be able to not affect us. Okay. Tolerance to frustration. Okay, you see, lovely photo of Casillas. I wanted to take photos of Valdez, but you know, Casillas is like a drama queen. You see tons of photos with different positions, and so I thought it was perfect for that. You know, frustration in football is a very common fact. Okay, one team win, one team loses. Okay, so the losing team is always going to get frustrated, especially for a goalkeeper. You know, when they score a goal, we get frustrated, but we don't have to let it affect us. Okay, we put it aside. We think we made a mistake. We put it aside. When the game is finished, then we can think about that. Okay, but we don't need to let these things affect us. Okay, if we let this thing affect, the next ball is going to come. We're going to be thinking on the first ball and the mistake we did. We're not going to concentrate. We're not going to do the right thing, and they're going to keep on scoring goals. Okay, so this is something also that we need to work on. And then the goalkeeper needs to be a task leader. Okay, there are two types of leaders. Is the leader of the team, you know, the one that cheers everybody up, you know, and is the the soul of the team and that kind of stuff. The goalkeeper can be that person. Nothing against that. But then you need to be a leader on the task. Okay, you need to be a leader in the way you address your defense. You know, to be in a certain place at a certain time. You know, they need to do what you need, what you say, when you say it. You know, and some people. It's not good for that, you know. Naturally, they're not good for telling someone, you know, giving them a shout to say, no, stop being there, you know, come here, or cover that guy, stop being there, or whatever. Okay, some people is not ready for that. But these kind of things you need to work on. Because if you're a goalkeeper, you see everything, and you need to organize everybody, and you need to be, you know, powerful and I don't know the right word for that, but you know, like the captain, not the captain, but you know, like in the army, what you say when you say, they have to do it. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Come on. And some people is not ready for that, but you can work on that because at the end of the day, they're gonna have to do it that way. And this will be the last bit is the other part of the video. Okay, the one we saw at the beginning. So the images from Atletico de Bilbao against Real Madrid. doesn't get trained, he doesn't get played. Okay. So anything that we can find in a game, we need to try and train and work on it. Okay. If we want the keeper to react the right way. Okay. So that's the end of the presentation. Now, if you have any questions, please shoot. Anybody? Any questions? Nobody? Nothing you want to know?
I noticed one thing, hardly any of the keepers catched anything. He's coached them just to palm it away sometimes. There's some of the drills, he never went down to actually catch it, they went down with one hand.
Well, I mean, most of the videos are from top level.
Yeah.
And to be realistic, especially with the new balls and the way that the guys kick the ball and the speed the ball is coming, most of the times you're not going to be able to catch the ball. So, if you're in the trainings, you're all the time working on how to catch the ball, how to catch the ball, how to catch the ball. You're not going to know how to deflect the ball away from the danger. Okay. So
we spoke about it on Friday. And Eric at dinner, and we as a nation always train to catch, and that's still coached the same as all to catch, but as he says there, it's top level. How fast is the ball moving? How fast is the ball moving now? Is it going to catch the ball when it's going top corner, bottom corner with the pace? That's when mistakes can maybe come in. So safety first, when you watch there, when they're parrying the ball, it's not parrying it into the 6-yard box to the danger. It's getting a good strong hand and it's going wide. And that's as a country, United Kingdom, we always do catch, and then as you go out the United Kingdom, it is dog that. It's a different method, obviously, but like he's saying there, putting the ball wide, putting safety first instead of putting ourselves in danger cause of what you correct technique.
Yeah, when we deflect the ball, we don't just put the hand to stop the ball and leave it there. We teach them to go for it, do the last movement like this, hit the ball with this part of the hand, so you get the ball as far as you can, always to the side. Something that, for example, was given with Silva's goal. We always work when we deflect the ball either to the corner or to the side, never to the center. So we don't catch the ball, but we don't leave it there hanging around. We try to get rid of the ball always to the sides. Any more? ¿Alguna pregunta por aquí?
Fantastic. How do you train the mental aspect? ¿Cómo harías el aspecto mental?
No light training. It's the way you do it. It's when we keeper coaches. We have a relation with our keepers. That it's really close. It becomes personal. It's not the same relation that a coach has with any of the 20-something. So the way I do it is by talking a lot to them, and listening to them and being more a friend and like a father type of figure, with the keeper. Sometimes you see them there, there's something going on in their head, so you take them up after the training or something, saying, hey, how is it going? You try to listen to them and whatever, as I said, shit they're carrying, you try to take some part of it, share it with them, so they feel relief, they feel better. And by the time the game comes on the weekend, this problem is not there so much. There are tons of like proper psychology training, and exercises that you can do to work on certain parts of that. But that's like really complicated. I'm not a psychologist, so that would be like sticking my head in something I don't really know. But the way I do it is by talking to them, by listening to them, and by sharing all their problems.
Yeah, just before we go out, I said earlier on before I introduced them, about different aids that we use. Several in the videos were used. Unorthodox that as coaches we use them. A tyre, if we would use a tyre, we would use a tyre to jump through. Like the old army, using a wall, when would you use it? When would you see it in anyone's practice when you use a wall? you know, that serious shows.
Well, it's like, for example, you've seen these exercises when in the first video with Awate in Mallorca, and it's kicking the ball against box. I did the same in Sweden. We're gonna do something also similar, and they were asking me, why do you do it like that? You know, why don't you just go there and kick the ball to the guy? And the ball from here maybe is like 6-7 meters. The ball is gonna go exactly the same way, but the box is here, or the bench, or whatever you use, the crazy catch we're gonna use today. You reduce the space from the time the guy sees the ball coming to him in half, so the reaction time of the guy is reduced by half. So that's something you do by changing this little thing. You know? And you always need to try to challenge the keeper. You know, don't make the same thing. Put little tweaks, you know, to the drills to make, as I said, his reaction time is shorter. You know, I don't know if you realized in the last video, he has this kind of plastic bit of sheet. You put some water in it. If you know you're going to be playing against Deportivo de La Coruña, you know, you check the weather forecast. You know especially here in Scotland, okay, it's always going to be rainy and wet. Okay, so you know if the ball bounces, it's going to bounce really fast. You can work on these kind of things, you know, to make sure that if the guy is going to go get a ball that bounces right there, you know, he's going to be able to react and put the hand by the ball, you know. If you're coaching in Mallorca, which is, you know, dry as hell sometimes, you know, but you know you're going to be playing in the weekend where it's going to be wet and stuff, so you can try to recreate these situations. As I said before, you know, we look more in what we're going to be facing in the next game. You know, sometimes you see the interviews of the guys, oh, you know, you're going to be facing Chelsea in Champions League, and it's like, I don't care about Chelsea in Champions League, you know, I'm playing against Betis on Saturday, so I worry about what's going to happen on Saturday. On Sunday, you can come and ask me what's going to happen on Wednesday. So try to make little tweaks and stuff so you get your keeper ready for what he's going to be facing next.
How do your sessions change as it comes closer to the games?
It depends. I can tell you, for example, a type of week of training in Spain. Okay, if you have like only one game, you know, I'm not really coaching where you play, you know, like Copa del Rey or with Sergio there, we'll have this kind of situation where you have 2 games in the week. Okay, normally after the game you do a session of recovery. Okay, something easy and light. Half week is when you put most of the physical load on it. On Thursday, you work more, you know, Thursday or Friday, just as you get closer to the game. You can work like tactic with the team, and just before the game, you work like speed of reaction. You know, easy loads, nothing to get tired the keeper, but you know, speed of reaction and this kind of stuff. That would be like a tip. But I said, you know, depending on what you're going to be facing on the weekend, you're going to be working one things or other things. But as I say, you know, it's after the game,